in the highlands west of Nairobi. It flows through Kabete, Spring Valley, Muthaiga meets Nairobi River. Nairobi River starts from Odiri Springs in Kikuyu. Then
that is in Kiambu County.
Udhiru, yes. Udhiru, Dagoretti, Kangemi, comes all the way through Kilimani. Somewhere near Nairobi University, it crosses the expressway through Michoke Park, then comes through Grogon, Kamukunji, somewhere near Isria base, it crosses Outer Ring, through Korogosho Market, then it goes to meet Mathare River at Rakesama. Gong River, which is that river that makes the Nairobi River, originates from somewhere in the highlands of, in the springs near Gong Road, passes through Kibra, gets into Nairobi Dam, and before it enters into Nairobi Dam, it meets its first other tributary, which is a tributary of the river, and then it enters into the dam.
Nairobi Dam?
Yes, Nairobi Dam, which is actually between Rangata and Kibra, and then flows down through Nyayo Stadium, South B, crosses Mombasa Road, industrial area, and then through Mukuru, goes down up to and crosses Outer Ring again, Soweto, and Kayole. And at Jiru, it joins the other side of the Nairobi River. So those are the three rivers that confluence to make Nairobi River. Those three rivers, I have said, covers a total distance of 85 kilometers. So when we talk about Nairobi rivers, up to Jiru town, it is 85 kilometers. But beyond there, it is joined by Roka River, Kamiti River, Ruiru River, before it rings up with the main river to flow downwards to Machakos, Makueni, up to Mombasa. And that's why the jurisdiction of the Nairobi Rivers Commission covers the counties of Kiambu,
Machakos,
Gong, Nairobi, Machakos, and Makueni. Yeah.
Very well. What a lot of people don't realize is that about 70 years ago, Nairobi rivers were clean. They were teeming with marine life. If we have films and videos of the Nairobi Dam teeming with swimmers, boats. We used to have aeroplanes landing there until about 1980s when the destruction of the dam and of course dumping in the river started. Give us an understanding of how bad the situation is today.
The situation is really bad, and that's why we have to take corrective measures. Now, arising out of the rural-urban migration, people, brothers coming to Nairobi in search of jobs, in search of opportunities, the only empty spaces they found were along the rivers, because these were primarily preserved at green spaces. So when they came, this is where they found spaces to survive in. So what happened? Our people started coming up with structures, which we call informal in nature, just to survive, because the cost of living in town is expensive. As a result of that, there was no enough infrastructure to support the number of people that were coming to Nairobi. The sewering, for example, that we have in Nairobi was done in the 1970s. The population of Nairobi then was less than 1 million. Today we are talking about 5 million people. So if the population has actually been multiplied by 5 times, and the same infrastructure has not changed, then you expect a lot of damage. That is where when you see a bit of rainfall or the manholes, they actually release the sewage into the roads and everywhere. That is the biggest problem. That is compounded by solid waste. Remember, the same people who are staying there, they generate waste from their domestic and industrial use, and there is nowhere to take. And that is why there is a lot of pollution in our rivers. Yes.
I mean, our producer was just showing us, you know, and I can see it in the background. Look at, those are the images of Nairobi River.
Yes.
I wish the producer can put them on TV so that you'll be able to see. But you can clearly see that the corridors where these rivers pass, you know, it's completely built up, and there are a lot of slums and informal settlements around that place, inhabited by thousands of people. And I just want to get a feel of how do you plan to deal with these people, because they are in their thousands, and where do you plan to take them?
Thank you very much. I think when you look at the mandate of the Nairobi Rivers Commission, it is actually to coordinate other institutions, the ministries, departments, and agencies, and the county government to try and achieve their mandate. Now, as we do that, we allow them to do their work. But for us to succeed, we have brought them together in what we call a multi-agency concept, where we have all the institutions, the ministries being coordinated by one institution, and this is the Nairobi Rivers Commission. So we developed a concept of actually dealing with the problem, and this concept has a lot of elements or activities that must be undertaken. The first one is that we need to deal with the sewage problem, and the only way to do this is to come up with suitable and enough trunk sewer to correct all the waste generated in Nairobi. And that's why the Nairobi River Regeneration project that is ongoing is actually meant to have 60 kilometers of trunk sewer built along the Nairobi River on about 30 kilometers on both sides of the river. The second problem we have to deal with is the solid waste, which is initially handled by what we call the Climate Works program, where we have, the government has employed about 40,000 youth who are actually basically working on the riparian and trying to correct the waste and take it to the waste dump site at Dandora. Once we do that, the trunk sewer must be connected with the laterals, because once you do the main trunk sewer, then you need the lateral lines, which will convey the waste from the residential areas, industrial areas, and towns into the main trunk sewer. So that is basically what we are doing. But the most important thing is actually the communities to buy in and support this program. And that has been our strongest point of departure.
Very well.
So what the commission did initially was to bring the communities, what we call the riverine communities, together. We allowed them to give us their views, and then we decided to work together, where we empowered them, one, to form their own, you know, leadership within the river, and then directly communicate with us when they have a problem. And this has been very responsive, and we have succeeded very well. Yeah.
Let's talk about the trunk sewer system that you are developing. And you're right. I mean, the last time the sewer system in Nairobi was upgraded was back in 1970s. Before then, it was in the 50s, and then before the 50s, it was in the 1920s. And clearly, you can see that we have almost 50 years since the last time we upgraded the sewer system. You were telling me that you're developing a sewer system, a modern one. Give us a feel of how modern this sewer system is going to look like.
The sewer line is modern because, one, the size is 1.8 meters by 1.8 meters. You literally walk inside it. Number two, the sewer line is actually designed to last for the next 50 years. Meaning, because
so the next 50 years, Nairobi will not have to deal with the sewer problem.
We will not deal with the sewer problem. And that is when it has been estimated that the population will be at the optimum. So we're not expecting the population to go beyond what will be then. And therefore, the sewer line will be sufficient.
So it will be able to service what population?
The projection is we have 5 million. That might double in the next 10 years to about 10 million. And therefore, even if it is 15, 20 million, that will be sufficient. Yeah.
So the current sewer system that you're putting up, you know, can support up to 20 million people.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah.
What other aspect do we need to know about this sewer system?
Apart from the sewer system, because this is what will actually be required to correct the wastewater. And we are classifying wastewater as sewage, industrial waste, institutional waste, and even the storm water that is coming out of our road systems. That is why it is that big. Then we have to connect it with a wastewater treatment plant at Kariobangi, the way I said, because unless this water is treated and then released back to the river when it is clean, then we'll be wasting our time.
Do you have land for that?
Yes, it's already available, and the designs have been completed. Oh, I may not be very sure, but I think it's about 15 to 20 acres that is available for that. Yeah. And
the entire area will be built up?
Yes, but we are using the modern treatment system, so we don't need a lot of area to do that. Yeah.
So that's a water treatment plant?
Yes.
From there, where do you take the water next?
Normally, if you treat water to the required standards, it is around you pump it back to the river and then it flows because it can be used. It is no longer dangerous to use. Yeah.
So you were also telling me that you are in the process of redeveloping the Dandora dam site.
Yes.
Tell us something about that.
As you realize, the Dandora dam site is the only dam site in Nairobi.
Yeah.
We should actually have been decommissioned long ago, but because of lack of land and other factors, it is still in use. So the Dandora dam site has actually covered part of Nairobi River. The river flows through Korogosho in a place called Com Green, and then enters below the Dandora dam site. So what we are doing, because it is one of the actually most polluter of the river again, it is one of the sources of pollution. So unless we reclaim part of that, unless we reclaim part of that, then whatever we are doing will not be useful. So what we are doing is we are reclaiming 50 meters of the dam site from the river, where we have cut out all the waste that has been accumulated there over time. And then we shall do a concrete wall to make sure that there is no seepage. There will be no waste coming into the river. And then we backfill it, and then we landscape. It becomes a park.
A park?
Yes, next to the river. Yeah.
So at the end of it all, and you're talking about the implementation of this program will be carried out in phases?
Yeah.
Right now you're doing phase 1?
Yes, we are doing phase 1 in Nairobi River only. Then phase 2 will be Madara River and Gong River, and part of Nairobi Dam, which is in Gong River. Yeah.
So does this mean that you're going to desilt the Nairobi Dam? You're going to redevelop Nairobi Dam, or what?
Yes, there is a technical team already working on that, that has been commissioned as part of the bigger Nairobi River Regeneration. And they have submitted their report, I am aware. And once the approval is given, the Nairobi Dam will have to be desilted. And there's a lot of work there that needs to be done. By the way, Nairobi Dam, we classify Nairobi Dam as a septic tank as of today.
Today, it's not even a dam.
It is not even a dam. And if you go there, there's a lot happening there. But there is a lot of work to be done. Yes.
So what is, after you're done with phase A, phase B, and phase 3, what do you do next?
The most important thing is to achieve the first part of this one, which is projected to be through by next year. And remember, yes,
January next year?
As part of the river regeneration, because if I would talk about the other scope of work before we get to that, there are a lot of activities that will be taking place along the river. Number one, we must do enough parks for our people, for the communities.
Parks?
Parks.
Where for people to relax, to jog, to have their social life there.
The situation has been pathetic, and that is the only way to dignify their lives. And that's why we empowered them. We encourage them to form community-based organizations so that we can work with them. That's why we are giving them opportunities in the Climate Works program for jobs. Any work that is going there, we make sure that those communities are the ones working. Number two, there is no design of a project that is taking place there without the approval or consultation with the communities. We engage them, we ask them, what do you want us to do for you? We incorporate that into the master plan, and then we start it. And they become part of the project supervision team. Today, if you go to Kamukunji, those communities are the ones who are actually supervising what is happening there. When you go to there, they will take you out, they will show you what is being done, and the project, when the project is expected to end. Today, if you go to Gekomba Market, which we started in April, you'll be happy to see the progress of work so far made. We have actually started roofing the market. The president promised that within 6 months the market will be ready. And I can assure you as of today, 4 months down the line, we have started roofing phase 1 of the project that will take about 6,000 traders. And that is
6,000 traders?
Yes, who will be relocated in the next 1 month, and then they will continue with their businesses. Yeah.
You talked about establishing social parks and, you know, parks like Uhuru Park, Central Park. How many parks are you planning to commission along the river basin? So
far, the ones that have been approved are 3.
3.
We have Kamukunji, which is 99% complete. We have a football pitch, we have an iron side, we have a boxing ring, we have a community center. In fact, we will have a studio machinani. We already have a studio machinani space. And I am aware that we have even written to KBC to tell us what you need, the equipments you need, so that we can equip it for you, for the people to be actually airing their views or whatever they want from there.
And producing their music, their skits and all that.
Yes, at the local level. Then the second one is Odiri. As we reclaim, preserve the Odiri wetlands in Kikuyu, we are also doing an amphitheater there, and we are fencing
at Ondiri Swamp.
Yes, at Odiri. Then we have another one at Rakisama, we call Temple Art. The designs have been complete, and we will soon start the construction works. So along the river, we have 3 main ones, but we are still engaging with the communities to see which other facilities or parks they need. But generally, along the 30 meters riparian on both sides of the river, there will be parks and walkways and cycle lanes, and the people will be enjoying. And actually, there will also be solar system energy so that people can use the river at night.
Very well. You know, when we talk about regeneration of major rivers, and one of the things that a lot of people do not know that is the world famous River Thames in London was once declared as biologically dead. The marine life was dead. Nothing could survive in that river. It was a flowing sewer, just like the way Nairobi is. Until the authorities in London decided that, no, we're not going to have a sewer system running, an open sewer system running through the city. And that's why more than 100 years ago, they embarked on cleaning River Thames and, of course, ensuring that it become, you know, hospitable, it becomes, you know, a proper river. You have such a vision for Nairobi rivers?
Yes.
Are we likely to swim, maybe in the next 5, 10 years, in Nairobi River?
Okay, the issue of swimming is possible, but the only problem with Nairobi is our rivers are actually streams, not very big rivers. And we anticipate that once we deal with the sewage problem, we will have actually reduced the level of water by 50%. That is why it is very important for us to preserve the catchment areas. If we don't preserve and take care of our catchment, then we may not end up having enough waters in Nairobi.
So they're likely to dry?
They are likely to dry. And that is why concurrently, in part of what we are doing, in support of the government's vision of the 15 billion trees, we make sure that we also coordinate and do a lot of tree planting along the riparian, along the catchment areas, so that as we concurrently do this, at the end of the time when the project will have been completed, our water catchment areas will have been reclaimed, and then we shall have sufficient water, at least, to flow into our streams. Yeah, again, to retain the water within the rivers as part of the project, we're also doing what we call weir dams, where we block the water at intervals of 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, to make sure that during the dry spell, at least there is some retention of water within the rivers.
At one point, you told me that one of the biggest challenges that you're facing legal hurdles.
Yes.
That you're facing so many legal resistance. Tell me about that and how you're addressing that.
Thank you very much. Because of the way the situation is on the ground, and the infrastructure that we are talking about has to be done within the river riparian, which is the land that is not owned by anybody, or owned by somebody or the owner, but with the restrictions on what you can do and what you cannot do. Unfortunately, the riparian land is occupied by our people. So recovering the riparian has been a major hurdle, because those who have structures there claim to have legal authorities, authorization from all the institutions that are required to authorize them. So what has happened is, as we do community engagement, as we issue notices to people to vacate, they have actually petitioned the multi-agency team, because this is done from a multi-agency approach. They have petitioned through parliament, they have petitioned through the courts, and the government is dealing with that. So there is a way that is being dealt with, and we believe at the end of the day, a verdict will be made and the project will continue.
As the CEO of Nairobi Rivers Commission, how many cases are on your desk?
I think the easiest way to say is that I cannot tell you the numbers, but there are many.
There are many of them.
There are many, yes.
And all of them are geared at stopping this project?
Yes, they are actually, most of them are actually aimed at delaying the project, because we don't want to talk about them, but according to me, we have all the proof that the project will continue.
The project will continue.
Yes.
I think about 3 or 2 months as a sign of how committed the government is in ensuring that the regeneration of Nairobi rivers continue. There was some demolitions around State House, or inside State House. Tell us about that.
Actually, around State House, it was not a demolition as such. What we did is, as part of the process of actually undertaking the work that we are doing, we have been guided, and we are trying to be very thorough in what we are doing, so that anybody who will take us somewhere, we'll have no basis. So we are using a process of community sensitization, community engagement. Once we identify that this area is actually within the riparian, we go there, we do what we call the marking. Then after we mark any structure that is inside, we issue a notice for the owner to remove it. But before that, there is a recourse. We allow the owner to bring any documentation that he has to prove that whatever is there is genuine, has been approved, and that it is supposed to be there. And that is where the multi-agency team is actually succeeding. We have a very serious team verifying those documents that have been brought. Because the first thing we want to see is your title deed. Then we must verify whether it is genuine or not. The second thing we must get from you is, did you get approvals from the county government or whichever county authority was there then? Did you get approval from NEMA? Did you get approval from Water Resources Authority? And then, if you got all those approvals, did you position your structure where it was approved to be? Because this is a problem. You get an approval to put your structure here, but you go and put it next to the river. So in that case, whose mistake is it? You have the approvals, but the structure is
so the structure is mispositioned.
Yes, correct.
All the documents are in place.
Yes.
But the structure
is in the wrong place.
Yes. How many buildings have you demolished along the river line?
We are not saying that actually we have demolished. What we are doing is we are actually evacuating people and those structures. We are not demolishing anything.
What is the meaning of evacuating the structures?
It's removing something from a point of danger, because once we do the seawering construction, we will be doing excavation, and that we don't want part of what you have to be affected. So we are requesting you to remove, and I must compliment. There are a lot of Kenyans who have actually complied with these requirements. In Kirimani, along Nairobi rivers, we have had very positive response from people. And there's a place called Kobomunyeri Haya in Nairobi. The traders there have been very cooperative. The traders in Gekomba, you remember?
Yeah.
They vacated themselves, they removed themselves, and then we showed them where to stay.
Even just down here, Grogon area.
Yes, even Grogon area, we have spoken to them. We have told them where we are taking them. We have shown them the plans, and they are very happy. It's a matter of time that we start working on the new garages for the Grogon people, and they are happy. So
there's a, I don't know whether my producer will be able to get that, the artistic impression of how Nairobi River, will look like, after all the constructions. And I have seen, a very beautiful artistic impression of how Globe Cinema Roundabout will look like. And I know that, there you are. Let's see. I know you've really watched these, and I know you have probably interacted with that artistic impression. Can you paint to us a picture of how, look at it. That's Globe Cinema Roundabout. A beautiful bridge.
That is the future artistic impression of that. That is how it is anticipated to be. That's why it is hoarded. And that's why people say they don't know what is happening. But we want them to see once it is complete.
So this is how Globe Cinema Roundabout will look like?
This is what it will look like. We'll have recreational centers. The river has been expanded. You can see the fountains. That is what is projected to be done. And it's already budgeted for, and there is a contractor on the ground. Yes.
Because I know the whole place is boarded up. You can't actually, the roundabout, you can't actually see what is happening, but you can see there's a lot of heavy machinery inside the roundabouts taking place there. So what kind of amenities are we going to enjoy at Globe Cinema Roundabout?
As you see, the people will be having areas to go and relax. There will be areas of photo shooting. You can see the drivers are actually driving above that beautified area. The water bodies will be actually giving you fresh air. And that is expected to complement what is there to Uhuru Park, Uhuru Gardens, and all that. And that is the projection of the government.
So you're planning to construct another recreational park?
It's a recreational park.
At the Globe Cinema Roundabout?
Yes.
And that is what actually is happening now, because I see a lot of construction equipment there.
Yes.
Let's talk about the budgets, because I also know that I can't remember whether it was Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja who said that the total budget will come to about 185 billion shillings? No.
I think that could have been another thing. What we know is that the overall budget the government has set aside is about 50 billion.
50 billion.
And that is for all
that is for phase
infrastructure. No, yes, phase 1 in the Nairobi River and part of the master planning for phase 2, which is the master plan for Gong and Madare River. Yes, but you can see the infrastructure and the planning is huge. There is a lot of work. If you look at the sewer line, they are going to some areas up to 6 meters down to excavate very hard rock, and it requires a lot of hard machines to do that.
So you're talking about 50 billion shillings going to cover the entire project?
Remember, we talked about the scoping of the work, where we have the river expansion, we have the river deepening, to control floods, because one of the other problems we have in Nairobi is flooding. So once we expand the river, flooding will be taken care of. We are doing walkways along the river. We are doing all the
44 bridges.
44 bridges along the river. We have talked about the Dandora.
What kind of bridges?
We have 20 motorized bridges for vehicles, and then about 22 for pedestrians. Very beautiful. You can see from the the video, the kind of bridges that
the artistic impression.
Yeah, that is the exact design that will be produced on the ground. Yeah.
Where are you going to locate some of these new bridges?
The new bridges have been identified in consultation with the community. Of course, you have to align them with the infrastructure, the roads that are available. And then we are trying to see, you know, you have to place them near the population where the population is heavy. So there's a lot of consultation on the grounds, and the engineers are working on that in consultation with the communities. Yeah.
Well, if you just joined us, we are in the company of Brigadier retired Murashie. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Nairobi Rivers Regeneration, Nairobi Rivers Commission, which is working on the regeneration of Nairobi rivers. And we are talking about Nairobi River, Mathare River, and Ngong River. And when you go through the artistic impression of how these places, I mean, how all these rivers will look like at the end of the day, I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. And the question is, Brigadier, when you sit down and when you look at what the artistic impressions are talking about vis-a-vis the reality on the ground, do you see this happening?
I see it happening. It has already happened. I would challenge you or invite you to go to Kamukunji tomorrow, or even see, I think there are some clips of what has been done at Kamukunji and the amphitheater at Kamukunji. And that will actually try to prove that what we are saying is actually achievable, and it is going to happen. You can see this is part of the amphitheater that is
this is the amphitheater, yeah?
Yes.
It's Kamukunji.
Actually, this is about...
This is already in place.
This is real. This picture was taken yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah, and they are actually doing the final, the grazing. This is Kamukunji Park, where we have the football pitch. We have the 7-a-side. You can see it is already done, and it is completed. We have the basketball court, and all that is done. So whatever we are aiming to do is achievable, and it is going to be achieved. Yeah.
We have seen a situation whereby, yes, you know, a project is done, it's beautiful, it looks amazing, and then 2-3 years down the line, it's broken, it's dilapidated. And I'll give an example of Muthurwa Market, the Machakos Country Bus, which was done back in 2007. It was looking very good. But today, I mean, it is in sorry state. What continuous rehabilitation measures are you going to put in place to ensure that the current state of that park, you call it what? Kamukunji Park,
yes,
you know, remains the same 10, 20, 30 years down the line?
Very good. As you can see, there is a lot of investment, actually, what that the government is putting in this, and nobody will allow this to go into the drains. So what is happening, the first thing I told you is that the community sensitization and involvement has given us a lot of strength in achieving what we have achieved here. So because the communities are the ones who are taking care of that, I'm aware there is already a team that is working on the sustainability program for all the rivers. Remember, that will be a very huge investment. And as the Commission continues to coordinate, we are also thinking of how do we come up with an organization that will be taking care of all this infrastructure that is coming up. So I'm aware a team has been set aside, and it is working out on the sustainability program, on the management of this in the future, and in close cooperation or involvement of the communities, and we believe a plan will soon be given out on how this is being done. What I know is that something is being worked on how to take care of this in the future.
Very good. Brigadier Murashie, before I let you go, in 1 minute or 30 seconds, what else do we need to know from you?
I think it is important to request the Kenyans that what is being done is for the good of all the people. The Constitution of Kenya, Article 42, guarantees all Kenyans a clean and healthy environment, and this is subsidized by Article 70, which obligates the state and each individual to take care of the environment. And that is why, in the interest of the environmental cleanliness, I believe that is why His Excellency the President formed the Nairobi Rivers Commission to be able to achieve this. And we are aligned to this, and we should be able to deliver this within the timelines given.
Thank you very much. Brigadier Murashie, and of course for joining us tonight. This afternoon, and of course for the work that you're doing as a commission.
Thank you very much.
Well, you have been watching Inside the Government, and of course we've been talking about the regeneration of Nairobi rivers. I just want to tell you this. A clean Nairobi river is not just good for you. It's good for the wildlife, it's good for the ecosystem, it's good for our lungs. And so we must ensure that Nairobi river's regeneration is completed. My name is O'Brien Kimani. We have been watching Inside Government, live from Broadcasting House. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon.
I am a model. I'm the CEO of Plant Your Age campaign. I love the way models had their confidence. Then I started going to modeling competitions. I went to trainings where I was taught the flips, the turns, and everything about modeling.
In today's story, we are going to find out who is stronger than the other. And is strength only in the muscles that we have, or can it be strong in the mind?
I am sure she sells seashell shells. I am sure she sells seashell shells.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make jollof rice.
The value of a doctor is not in the title.
Get ready for a captivating continental football extravaganza. KBC Channel 1 brings you exclusive coverage of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. From Sunday the 26th of July to Sunday the 16th of August 2026, welcome to Morocco! Morocco is the battleground as Nigeria defend their title against 15 other nations fighting to lift the prestigious trophy. Who will be crowned Queens of African Football? Courtesy of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. Watch all the action unraveling on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
As the impacts of climate change are increasingly felt across Africa, countries in the region are nevertheless leading on climate action and making the most of the climate solutions the continent has to offer. Governments' climate commitments are key to peace and prosperity, as well as to preserving Africa's unique natural wonders. To address the consequences of decades of deforestation, Kenya is now concentrating on preserving, recovering, and expanding its diverse forest ecosystems. The country has already made notable strides, achieving its initial goal of reaching 10% of tree cover by 2022. It has increased its ambition and is now aiming for 30% of tree cover by 2050. These efforts form part of the country's broader commitment to enhancing its climate ambition, which involves reducing greenhouse gas emissions and implementing more robust adaptation actions. What sets Kenya's approach apart It's not just its ambitious reforestation goal, but also its adoption of a whole of society strategy. Kenya has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 32% by 2030 relative to the business as usual scenario, and the government is dedicated to making sure this happens. Also, there are clear and actionable solutions. Increased finance for mitigation and adaptation in Kenya, particularly in the transport, forestry, water, land use and waste sectors, could create jobs for millions of people and lead the way to a greener, more resilient future. Though, to achieve this, both public and private climate finance needs to be scaled up significantly. Kenyan startups focusing on climate solutions are becoming crucial players in the execution of the government's agenda on the environment and climate change. The startups are set to benefit from funding ranging from between 15 million to 40 million shillings under a new 6-month Climate Tech Accelerator program. The Accelerator program aims to bolster startups operating primarily in areas such as sustainable agriculture, the circular economy, conservation technology, waste management, renewable energy, and nature-based solutions. In the deal, Pangea Accelerator, a Kenyan Norwegian venture builder, the motivation behind the initiative is to address the pressing needs for SMEs and businesses to develop climate-focused solutions. Pangea aims to support these ventures, enabling them to achieve success in the evolving climate space by providing the selected businesses with support in enhancing revenues, expanding their client base, and improving operations. Pangea Accelerator founder Jonas Tesfu says that the program is tailored for startups and SMEs in the climate tech space with a focus on sustainable agriculture, circular economy, conservation technology, waste management, renewable energy, and nature-based solutions.
This program is based on the learnings we've had throughout the many years that we've been operating on the ground. And if it's one benefit we have is that we have the ability to develop local solutions to the local problems. So with the Pangea investment program, we really hope to tap into this. And also doing programs within agriculture sector together with World Food Program and many other partners. And we're also looking into engaging more within the fintech space. As an investment company, we are sector agnostic, meaning that we are open to all sectors, but there is a few where we are really looking into and seeing that there is a great momentum.
According to the founder, from the 10 startups set to benefit, most of them will be drawn from the East African region